Low energy, unfocused, foggy? You might be dehydrated. Whether it's hot yoga, over 100-degree weather, or too much sun. Gator Light, with a specialized blend of 5 electrolytes, was scientifically designed to help move fluids into the body faster for rapid rehydration. Shop now at retailers nationwide. Gator Light hydrates faster than water. Is it in you? Symptoms noted are signs of mild to moderate dehydration. Consult a healthcare professional if symptoms persist.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire, the no-show. Who set you back because they didn't show up on day 1, or day 2, or ever again. And now your product launch is delayed because you're talking to alien abduction podcasters to track them down. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can help make sure your next hire sticks. In fact, businesses who use LinkedIn are 24% less likely to reopen a role in the next 12 months. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Coach Unplugged is brought to you by great people over at teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. Here is your host, Steve Collins.
Hey everybody, happy Friday. Today we're going to be talking about winning programs and special plays. I think that will intrigue all of you. But before we do that, I'd like to give a big shout out to Dr. Dish, the most innovative shooting machine on the market. If an old fart like me can use it and figure out how to break it down and make his team better shooters, I think all of you can too. Mention Coach Unplugged and they'll give you $350 off. So I got them up $50 on your next purchase. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get it. It's one-stop shopping. It's Netflix for basketball coaches, but better. You have my personal email address, you one-on-one calls, office hours. I have a laundry list of teachhoops.com members that I've got to respond to in the next couple of days and help them with their craft. And that's what I do. That's the reason I started teachhoops.com. So go over and check that out and have a great week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Coach Unplugged. Basketball Coach Unplugged is brought to you by the people. Go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. That's the backer of this. That's kind of my baby. Now, and prices will be going up. So if you're listening to this and you're on the fence and you're waiting, the end of February, probably even before that, soon. I'm telling you, soon prices are going to be going up, almost by 50%. So if you're thinking of joining, go over and check it out. 14-day free trial. Come join our community. And the last thing before we get going tonight is go over and subscribe and leave a review. We really love the reviews. It has helped us get to the point where we can do these weekly. If you go back and look in our thing, I just didn't have the time. But now that I'm able to get sponsors, I'm able to get things to kind of support us. I can do this more on a regular basis. If I get enough sponsors, enough reviews from all, it doesn't take much for you to go over, leave a review on iTunes. That would be awesome. We would really, really appreciate that. So today, what I'm going to talk about, a little story that I'm gonna go through today. It's like, so no matter where you're coaching, doesn't matter what country you're listening to this in, whether you're coaching your son or daughter, whether you're coaching a youth program, whether you're coaching a high school team, a collegiate team, a club team, everywhere. People listen to this all over the world. To be honest with you, it takes time to build a team and a program. My career started out as a player. Excuse me, and I played in high school. I played collegiately, and I love this game of basketball. Like I've said 1,000 times, this has given me so many things. And part of the reason, like I said, I started Teach Hoops is I wanted to give something back. I wanted to help other coaches that were were in this kind of the same boat as me. But so I decided I wanted to help kids. I wanted to become a teacher, and I wanted to become a coach. I think they're synonymous. I think they're similar in what they're able to do. I wish they got paid better. I do wish that. But I think, part of life is making a difference in people's lives, and hopefully I'm able to do that in a lot of different aspects, hopefully with this podcast and Teach Hoops and my classroom and the boys that I've coached. And I think I'm going to have a couple of them get drafted in the NFL draft in the next, couple months. Therese Fountain and Jester Wee, I think will both get drafted. So it'll be nice to add to our professional athletes. Won't be necessarily NBA guys, but so going back to what I was talking about. So I decided to become a coach. Got my first job in northern Wisconsin. Like, for those of you that don't know where that is, it's like in Canada. And was able to learn from a lot of different great coaches. Okay. And I think that as a student of the game, if you look behind me, if you're watching this on YouTube rather than listening to it on my podcast, because I think this one I'm going to put on both platforms, you can see there's lots of books. We're always life learners. I was able to learn from different coaches. I was able to learn from my coaches that I had growing up, one being my dad, one being John Boyle, so on and so forth. I was able to learn things from that, take the things I liked, get rid of the things I didn't like. And then I was able to be under 4 head coaches before I became a head coach myself. And again, I'm not a duplicate of any of them. I'm a piece of all of them. And I think, in talking about the books behind, I think books, I think watching videos, I think talking to other coaches, I think all of those things are so important to broadening it. I'm 50 plus and I'm still learning. I'm still learning this game. I'm still taking tidbits from everyone. And again, that's why I started Teach Hoops, to try to put it all in one spot. But anyway, I digress. So I coached in northern Wisconsin. I moved back to where I am now in Madison, Wisconsin. I was an assistant for a while, and then I took over a program that, if I can describe to you, was horrible. It's the only way to describe it. And I knew it was, but it was a job. It was a head job. I thought I could turn it around. I thought I could be successful with it. I might have been a little bit young and a little bit naive thinking that. But we were able to do it. Obviously, we've won a lot. And some of you have seen my resume and Teach Hoops. But so, yeah, I was the only applicant for the job. That's how bad the program. It had 5 or 6 winning seasons in like 40 years since the high school had been opened. So people were not clamoring to take this job by any stretch of the imagination. So obviously I got it. I got married in July. I got the job in October, and I started in November. So to say that was a bit of a whirlwind would be a huge understatement. Took over a program that had started a youth program. One of the assistant coaches had started that, but had a lot of building to do. We had a lot of changing of culture to do. So that's one of the things I tell all the coaches that are listening now is, again, let's say you're running an AAU team, just a team, you have to think of that as a little microcosm of a program. How can I change the culture? How can I expect the kids to work hard? How can I expect them to be there on time? Blah, blah, blah. And my only losing season as a head coach was that first season. We were 7-14. And I remember sitting in that locker room after we had lost in the sectional or regional semis or whatever it was, talking to one of my coaches saying, I can't do this. I can't go through this season after season. And on the bus ride home from that game, I think it was a couple hours away, we kind of mapped out what we wanted to do. So what my advice to you would be, get out a piece of paper, say, here's what I want to do. And the reason I decided to do this as a podcast this week was I've been talking, we have 3 or 4 new coaches in the Big 8 in our conference. And I'm welcoming them to the conference and, telling them that, it took me 7 years to go from the worst team, one of the worst teams in the state, to the state champions, the best team in the state. So it took 7 years to kind of build it. And it was slow. It was, 7 and 14, 12 and 10, 13 and 9. Every year we got a little bit better. And it's a saying that you've all heard, but Rome was not built in a day. A team is not built in a day. A program is not built in a day. But like anything, if I go into my class tomorrow and I don't have a lesson plan and I'm not ready, I'm not able to teach them. If I don't have a plan to how I'm going to turn the program, how I'm going to turn it the second half of the season, how I'm going to make us better moving forward, then there's no reason to do this thing. And I talk to my coaches and teach hoops all the time, and we communicate. It's like, you got to have a plan. And yes, it's January right now. It's the end of January right now. It's like the January 21st, 22nd, something like that. And we, it's hard. It's hard to fix a car when you're driving it. I do realize that. So what I'm telling some of your coaches is maybe it's a micro fix right now. Maybe it's an expectation of practice. Maybe it's a pregame prep. Some of those things that we'll maybe talk about a little bit later. It can be a micro. So, I can clean the rear view mirror, but I can't really change the tire when the car is moving. So you have to think about what can I change now as a micro, and then come spring when your season's over, or depending on when your season's over, depending on when you're listening to this, then I can make bigger changes. And that's where, again, I am available in teachhoops.com. Our coaches, our community, our hundreds of coaches are there to kind of help you, because we bounce stuff off, in our platform and on our private Facebook group. We do that all the time, kind of communicating back and forth. And people are emailing me every day in our community saying, hey, how do you do this? How do I do that? Blah, blah, blah. And it, what does that take? It doesn't take me very long. And then if that's not enough, if that's the first step that's not enough, then what we'll do is we'll get together and we'll do one of these calls, or we'll do a one-on-one, and I will help them. That's the point, the reason I started it. I wanted to help coaches all over the world become better basketball coaches, give them some of the secret sauce that I have found from being a youth coach, coaching my son, to being an AAU coach or a summer coach, again with my son, to being a very successful, probably over the last 20 years, one of the winningest coaches in the state of Wisconsin. We could argue that, I guess, but winning a lot of basketball games, and motivating young men, and not young women, because I haven't coached women in 15 years, I think. But anyway, so that's kind of the journey, and you can all do it, but come with a plan. And, if it's something that maybe moving forward, maybe, if people reach out, maybe we want to, as I know in my community, we've done that, and maybe we somehow want to talk about how to map that plan out, how to go from point A to point B to point C to point D. The secret sauce is easier than you think it is. So before I go on, I'm going to talk about some special plays and kind of some quick hitters and things that basketball X's and O's.
Hey, Coach, I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Make sure you subscribe and like. Those do mean a lot to us. The written reviews are really important. Two other things that you can do to help us out that doesn't cost you anything. First thing, you can go over and subscribe and like and join our YouTube channel, Teach Hoops. You get updates all the time on that. You can also, if you do any sort of shopping on Amazon, you can click our Amazon link down below, www.teachhoops.com/Amazon. Bookmark that. Anytime you do any shopping on Amazon, we get a small little commission, and it helps us with our hosting fees. And if you really, really, really want to help us out, you come over and join teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better, become a better basketball coach. It's one of the reasons I got into this, was to not only help my players, but to help other coaches. And like I said, we ask our players to work on their craft. Are you working on your craft? Let me help you become a better basketball coach. All right, back to the podcast. So let's talk about special plays and naming them. So there's a couple things. So I think naming plays is a unique thing. We do them by colors. We do them by colors because in big games it tends to be very loud in our gym. We have
don't have a huge gym of 5,000 or something. So it can get pretty loud in a big game. Um, so uh, so I like using unique names to name special plays, like box out or pass it to the wing or something like that. I have not, a disclaimer, I have not done this, but I think it's a great thing because no one really can come up with it. If you're holding up 2, everyone knows it. Now, if you don't care about that, that's fine. But something that people don't know is a unique twist in naming your plays, not your specific offense, but your specific plays. Things like be patient, 2 passes, let's get a post look, run it again. Those kind of things are a unique way to run special plays. Now, I am a big guy on doing situations and plays and things like that, especially the second round or when you are seeing an opponent for a second time. I think it's a good way of throwing a curveball rather than a slider. I think it gives them a different look. It allows them to, and it's easy to sell to your boys and girls, your players that, here's what we're going to do and here's how we're going to do it. But you have to spend time on these. So out of bounds plays, specials, side out of bounds plays, all that stuff, you have to spend time and you have to be able to tweak them and you have to be able to execute them if you want to be able to score. Because just running through them once in a practice is not going to work. You have to be able to do it multiple times during, maybe you're only practicing twice a week, maybe you're practicing every day. You have to niche out, okay, we're going to spend 3 minutes on this special, and then we're going to do it every day so the kids can remember it. Doing it once will not be a successful way to run a special play and to be able to score. So if there's anything that you want to hear from me, as far as this podcast goes, as far as the YouTube channel, what I would ask is down below, 2 things: you subscribe and you like. I would love that. Leave a review, please leave a review. We love those. But if there's anything you want down in the notes, leave a comment. Say, hey, Coach, I'd love you to go over getting ready for tournament play. I would love you to talk about free throw shooting, what specific drills we could do with that. I would love you to talk about how we deal with double teams. So if there's anything that you want to hear, I will try to get to it. Again, I can't promise it's going to be like that. I, again, have to take care of the people over at teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better, because I am on their beck and call, basically. So if they have any questions, it is a coaching community. It's a place that you want to be. It's a 14-day free trial. And like I said in the intro, prices are going to be increasing. I'm going to hire some other coaches to help with some background stuff. There's only 168 hours or whatever it is in a week, and I only have so much time. I love doing these podcasts. I love doing all this stuff, but I only, I have to sleep and eat. I guess I could eat and do this. But so I'm trying to get to the point where I'm making enough money so that I can hire people to help expand it, to be honest with you. So go over and check it out, www.teachhoops.com, for coaches who want to get better. Hey, Coach, hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you subscribe and like. Go over right now. Stop. Join teachhoops.com. Say, I want to become a better basketball coach. I want to win a state title. I want to learn what it takes to take my team to the next level. Well, I can help you do that. I have been through all the battles you've been through. Let me help you through this great process we call coaching. All right. Have a great day.